One set of findings that we present in the Before I Do report for the National Marriage Project is related to what you could call relationship experience. We generally think that having more experience is better. If you were hiring an architect, for example, you'd want to hire an architect with more experience, not less, to build your house. But what we find for relationships is just the opposite. Having more experience was related to having a less happy marriage later on. For example, we found that people who had been married before, people who'd lived with a boyfriend or girlfriend before, and having had more sexual partners before marriage were each associated with having lower marital quality later on. In a similar way, we found that having had sex with only one's future spouse, which was true for 23% of our sample, was associated with greater marital quality later on. We call this set of findings the Vegas fallacy. What happens in the past may not stay in the past. Why might it be true that relationship experience is related to having a less happy marriage later on? There are a number of possible reasons. First, having more relationship experience may lead to a greater sense of what the alternatives are. If you have a greater sense of other options, it might be harder to invest in or commit to a marriage. Second, having more relationship experience might also lead to more comparisons. For example, a person might compare sex in their marriage to sex in a prior relationship and feel less satisfied. Third, more relationship experience means more experience ending relationships. Having had more breakups might lead a person to think of breaking up as a more viable option. It might also lead someone to focus on the negatives in a relationship, which might make it less satisfying. It's important to keep in mind that having more relationship experience doesn't necessarily mean that a person's marriage will be less happy. All of our findings are on the average, and they won't apply to everyone. But they do show that it might be worth considering how your relationship experiences might be influencing you and your current relationship. It might also be worth talking with your partner about his or her relationship experiences and how they impact where you are today.